Hi, welcome back to Blatherrhea. God damn it, it's John Caparulo.
It's Brian Shinanigan. Welcome back.
Yeah, good to see everybody. We're back. We're back at your place. To make a trip. Oh, anyway, it's semantics. Anyway,
Yes, we're at the home location or the way location. I don't know, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, well, this is the original location, but it
yes.
doesn't. Yeah, it's we're here.
We're in a different stadium.
I mean, does anybody give a shit? Let us know in the comments. No, I don't want you to. We're back for another. What is this, episode number
11?
All right, sweet. How's everything with you?
Oh man, it was a hell of a weekend.
Okay.
Hell of a weekend. Because I told you my aunt died yesterday.
I'm sorry, man.
She was a nun.
You were saying that there was a whole thing with the Catholic Church, wasn't it?
Yeah, like we were arguing with the Catholic Church on ownership of my aunt. Like, I told the bishop to go fuck himself.
I mean, as you should. I mean, even if everything went well with your aunt, I think just based on everything else we've seen, I think you should tell him to go fuck himself. But I mean, so wait, you were telling me they actually used the word owned?
Yeah.
They own her.
Yeah. Because she's given herself to the church, and they provided for her and all this stuff for all these years. So
it's amazing that you could be at that point. It really, because let's call it what it is. As a corporation, that you're actually at a point where you really don't have to give a shit anymore. Like where you could just, because first of all, saying that they owned his aunt, it really isn't even in the top fucking 100 terrible things that the Catholic Church has done. So. I mean, but it's still just the fact that they can just be at the point where they're just like no, we really don't care. We don't have to impress or even not completely offend anybody. Like it's just fuck you.
No, and my dad and uncles were mad too, but like they were trying to be so cordial about it, and I'm just like no, this is fucked up, like, and they were like language, and I'm like, man, like, aren't we past that at this point?
Yeah,
like,
seriously. Wait, who was saying language to you? Your relative?
The priest. The
priest. Get the fuck out of here! Really?
And I said, all the fucking shit you guys have done, I don't want to hear it about.
Yeah,
fucking
really.
Language,
And really, and that's not even like this. Isn't even like a few isolated incidents. It's obviously been proven out over the past couple decades that it's obvious that they weren't just like, oh yeah, we had a few bad seeds. No, this was a systemic, like, woven into the fabric of the Catholic Church that they are just, it is run by just this hierarchy of fucking predators that it's unfathomable, really, that they continue to have people still look at them as some sort of ideal of purity or godliness or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
No, the weirdest thing of this whole thing, Cap, is having the Catholic Church involved in family end-of-life decisions. You know what I'm saying? It was like there was like 3 players in the room to decide, like whether we should pull the plug on my aunt. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That's. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
I mean, I did a bit about it tonight because the day after all that shit happened, I got food poisoning, and I shit myself.
Okay, well,
and I was like, God, is this because I swear at that priest, or is it because Wahlburgers was really bad? But it was like, but I still.
It's not lame food poisoning, all right. Sometimes you just get the shits.
Yes. It was funny because I took that on stage tonight, and I kind of wrote on stage, and I did a bit about how my aunt and the Catholic Church and the audience was on board, and I bookended it with a whole thing about me shitting myself. So it was like a nice.
Hey man,
if I could talk about my dead aunt and shitting myself in the same set,
there's nothing funnier than frustration and poop.
Yeah,
as is my experience. That's what I always think. Like every time I watch you on stage, is just because you're obviously naturally funny, but and you have a likability quality to you, which is great. I just always like, man, I'd love to see him get pissed off up there. Because, the thing is you're usually like the happy-go-lucky, the way you are.
Yeah.
I want to see you get mad as fuck. just start fucking laying into some shit. Yeah. Fuck them priests. Give a fuck about that shit. Like, I altogether, anybody knows me, I think, I have an overall, and I even hate when I fucking cushion that blow for anybody who might be at my show who's religious.
Yeah.
Look, I think religion is fucking bullshit. I think it is it's a scourge on humanity, and I think it is something that causes way more harm than good. And I think that, you know, because as many like, it's funny to me, like when you watch anything like about like true crime, anything like that, and like, you know, when you think about like all these people who like they get so up in arms, like if they hear anything about like a satanic cult, like Satanists, oh, we gotta stop them. And the thing is like when you look at the numbers of like how many, just like if you get into serial killers, like how many serial killers have done what they did on behalf of the Bible versus they were working for Satan. I mean, like, really. I mean, like, when you... exactly. No, wait. Bible? Bible's over here in my right hand. See, like, oh, God. Oh, I can't hold all these Bible guys. Oh, because fucking... Yeah, I can lift up the Night Stalker right here because that's the only one I know of. But, yeah, the rest of them, Bible. All right? Fuck off, priest. All right, you don't own anybody. All right, didn't fucking Lincoln sign something?
Oh my God, like, I literally said that in my bit. I was like,
you're not allowed to fucking own people.
That
like,
was my bit.
I can't believe they would say that. Like they said that, and like with conviction. They looked you in the eye, another man, and just no, we own her. Like
Cap,
no,
you went right to my bit. That was my bit. I was like, haven't you guys heard of Lincoln? Like we don't own people no more, and just like.
I really...
And honestly, I think that's why I did so well, is because I was actually, like, emotional about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, fuck these guys, you know? Like, it's like, people can feel when you're genuine in a bit, I feel, you know?
If you could... I said this when you talked about it last night. If you can watch the Netflix series, what is it, The Keepers?
Yeah.
The Keepers. If you can watch The Keepers and then still adhere to your Catholic faith, there's something wrong. And I'm not just picking on Catholicism. I think they all suck. But Catholicism in particular has got a particular brand of fucking terrible. It really needs to be fucking eviscerated at this point. I mean, it's terrible. It's really bad. And I'm sorry you had to deal with them fuckers. No.
I mean, it was like a whole family. It was like the whole family thing. And then, you know, had to fucking teach goddamn nuns how to use Google Meets. So you could even get in a goddamn room with all of us.
And you have some priests come at you about language.
Yeah.
Oh man,
the bishop. The bishop.
Go fuck yourself. I'll get him with my rook. All right.
Oh my God, I was thinking that too. I was like, you're just mad because you can only go like this. All right, you can only go fucking diagonal, bitch.
Angles, huh? Yeah.
You fucking angry guy.
Yeah. Well, get some of this queen. That just sounds ridiculous. But anyway. So yeah,
I mean,
okay, cool.
So, but it was so it was that.
I'm glad you got a bit out of it, but I'm
then
sorry.
I had the food poisoning, and then Ron came into town and went to the AEW event, and that was great.
Okay,
just people fighting in the things, and it was we went Japanese arcade.
AEW, what is that again?
All Elite Wrestling. Like,
okay.
So the matches were okay. They had a arena street fight where these guys were going all over the place. Like, these two guys went outside, and he fucking, like, suplexed him in a truck bed outside. Like, and it was like this one guy came in, and all of a sudden his kick was, like, lightning because he kicked the dude in the face, and there was, like, a firework effect. And I'm like... And we were like, that didn't make sense by... And, like, how? How did his foot...
I'm sorry. You go to a professional wrestling
you still expect
event,
a level
and there was actually a point where you go, oh, now this is bullshit. No, come on. No, you're not allowed. You are not allowed to go all of a sudden have a brain. Because, look, if you're going to fucking go watch some shit like that, unless you're 9... You're not allowed to fucking criticize the presentation. You knew what you signed up for. But it's all bullshit.
But they went like up the fucking stairs. They were like in the concession area. They fucking like hit him with the fucking concessions. It was like pumping shit on him, and like it was like there was so much happening in the arena that the cameras couldn't cover it all. Because I watched the replay at home, and I'm like, they didn't get half the shit we saw. Because it was just so much going on. But it was. That was hilarious. Other than that, you know, it was just nice to see Ron. We had a nice couple nice dinners. Went to the Japanese arcade, which was once again really cool. You definitely got to check that out. They added more games even.
Japanese arcade? How's that different?
Because they have way more of like the music games and the interactive games and a lot of like the other kind of sports games. Not just like the Pop-A-Shot, but they had like the couple of different footballs. They have an arm wrestling one.
Yeah, I do the football. I always do football, and when we go to like Dave and Buster's or something like that, I always go like I'm all about Pop-A-Shot and the football one with the. And I suck at the football one. Like
I can't get the holes. I just try for the side receivers. But I mean,
it's just because it is really hard to aim and put the right straight through that hole, because it's like, football, it's like you're throwing it to like, okay, if I just get it in the neighborhood of you now you reach out and catch it. That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
Basketball is different. It's designed better for a stroke, whereas football's oblong. It's really it's hard as shit. I mean, I managed to get a few tickets, but I do better at Pop-A-Shot, of course. So it's.
But they have like a bowling one, and like they have skeet shooting, which is like a really cool big screen thing. They have really a lot of great cool games.
Skeet shooting, what is it, like a virtual reality skeet?
Yeah,
shooting,
like it's like they have the full guns, and it's like a big like screen. It's like half the room. It's like a big old thing, and you. So
it's almost like Top Golf or something like that, where they have the like.
But it's more but it's like modern Duck Hunt, I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's still like fun, and it's $10 for all you can play for an hour.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't beat that.
Yeah. I remember how Duck Hunt seemed really. I remember my friend had a Nintendo that made me want to get a Nintendo. I was it would have been between 7th and 8th grade, and and he had Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, and I was like Duck Hunt, like I wouldn't need another thing ever to entertain me. If I had Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, I could just play that
the 2-pack
all the time, and I wouldn't need to ever talk to anybody ever again. And I mean, that shit devolved quick into just like, you just stick the fucking light gun on the screen. It's like, all right, yeah, they're dead too. It's like yeah.
Did you even ever get to Duck Hunt where the second controller controls the ducks?
No, I never did.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I got rid of. I think one of the only cartridge I kept. I've bought new ones since. I think I might have a Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt cartridge that I bought since, but it's I don't have the gun anymore, so I never tried it out. But I still have I have a Nintendo. I have one of those systems that plays Nintendo, Sega, and
the multi-cade things,
And I've never heard of that one. I've watched some of those like videos and stuff, but I never heard of that. So the controller, the second controller can actually
controls the ducks.
It does control the ducks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems like that would have been something we would have tried.
I didn't know that till fucking like my middle ages.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Because why would you ever plug? You were using the damn gun.
Right. No, it's not something, I guess. But I mean, it's still just something like, you'd be so bored waiting for your friend to play.
Well, that's why, because you dick your friend
like
over
you
so
you
you
get
get
on
to
your
go
phone
faster.
and do something else. I mean, you're both stuck with that fucking screen. I mean, how boring fucking like sleepovers were, shit. Like compared to, I mean, what is the amount of activities you have? So many waiting activities now that you didn't have before. Like, it's not like you could fucking watch TV while you were, because the TV was taken.
It was occupied.
What kid had fucking 2 TVs? Oh my God, what is this?
What are you, Richie Rich?
Rich?
Jinx, yeah, you fucking know the vibes.
That's my line. But it's like, it really is. I mean, like it's just so different now, where you just have so many more things to occupy your attention. And you would just think back then, it'd be like, somebody would have been just, I'm playing, my buddy's playing, he's fucking shooting, I'd be like, I don't know, I'm just gonna sit here and fuck around with the controller. It's amazing how much of that stuff came from like Nintendo Power too. Like I got like, I got that like, that first issue or whatever they gave you when you bought it or whatever. Yeah. And then but I mean, the people who actually kept up with that are the ones who got like the Contra code. So I always got that, secondhand from somebody, and it's like.
Did you call the Nintendo hotline?
No.
I called the Nintendo hotline more than once.
Yeah?
More than once.
Really?
Fucking Dragon Quest and some of those old RPG games when you got stuck. Oh, I called them a bunch of times.
See, I never got into the games where like there was you had to figure out which way to go, and so the only adventure game that I ever like completed, I think, was probably Super Mario Brothers, which was self-explanatory. There was no like, well, which way do I go? You go right. It's which way you go. But it's like, I don't think I ever got into any of those, like, you did the Quest games. I've never got, even still now, I don't get
Well, there was a store by my house that, like, they got into business and they went out of business super fast, and, like, all their games were $1 when they were going out of business.
Yeah.
So we literally went down there and bought, like, one of everything we could get.
Yeah.
So we had, I had hundreds of games at one time, and so many of them, I didn't know how to fucking play them. There was no instructions. They did not make them. There was no strategy, guys. There was no internet.
What's amazing now, like, I mean, when you think about, you know, because I remember somebody was saying that I think last week or the week before, I think we were in the green room, like, you know, where the other guys were saying, like, how, you know, the price of video games has never changed and stuff like that, which it hasn't to some degree. It depends on, you know, like, if you play, like, I play Madden, obviously, every day, and that costs a lot more than $60 now if you want to compete.
The games now are like, $70, $80.
But I mean, you know, the $60 mark has always been like, you know, even when you got deep into, you know, PS2, PS3, PS4, when you actually had to go and buy a physical copy of something, you know, it was still the, you know, that same range. But it's funny because, like, I even bought a couple of for that Nintendo system that I have now. Like the you know, you can even buy cartridges that I have one that has 500 fucking games on it.
No, on my Steam Deck, it's got almost every Nintendo game ever made.
I mean, it's like an old school cartridge though. Like
the
on
entire
that same board.
Tetris game is like 7K. I send emails bigger than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, so I mean, you can fit all that shit. 8 bits fits. I'll fit a lot of that.
Yeah.
The
only adventure game like I like played for a long time and I still never beat it. Still to this day, because I think I tried to beat it. I know I tried to beat it again a couple years ago. Was Double Dragon, like the first one. I never even played the other ones. But I mean, the first Double Dragon. I think I'd always get to the last thing where you had to like fight the brother or the twin or whatever, and like I got to that.
He would do those jump fucking kicks that would fuck you up.
Yeah. I got that far, but I could never beat him. You know, but you know, as far as like games that, I mean, obviously Contra was easy to eventually, like if you got with your buddy and did the up down code, and you know, we did that plenty of times where the two of us beat the game on Contra, and I think the last time I beat Mike Tyson on Punchout was because that was the only cartridge I kept, like from my original collection, was Mike Tyson's Punchout, because you couldn't get that after a while.
No.
Like a friend of mine, he actually has the Punchout, the version that they came out after Tyson got in trouble. You know, like it was just
Punch-Out,
Mr. Dream or whatever. Yeah, and he was basically just a white guy Tyson with blonde hair. It's fucking ridiculous. But I could beat Tyson. I mean, I never, you know, like you've seen like the speed records and stuff people putting online, and you're like, what the, you know. And you have to think some of them are game genies, but I don't. But you know, I could actually beat them old school legit. You know, when I was into the game pretty well.
I won't lie to you. The first time I beat Double Dragon was with the Game Genie.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because like I beat Mike Tyson on Mike Tyson's Punchout. The only guy I didn't beat Mr. Sandman until I think 2008. It's like it took me and my buddy started playing again, but like I'd beat Tyson because I always wish like if you know, I think really they should just make this a permanent thing, like through AT&T or whatever. I think Mike Tyson's phone number should be 00737355963. I think that would be hilarious. I think if you dial that off your phone, I think it would be great if Mike answered. Like,
at least if there was a voicemail, like, you know, like
really. I mean, because it should be his number. I mean, that's fucking sweet. But I could beat Tyson. Like when I was still, you know, when I was a kid, maybe when I was 12 or 13 when I beat him, but I was in my 30s before I beat Mr.
Could
Sandman.
you go coast to coast from beginning to end all the way to Tyson?
Yeah, I did that a few times. I did that back in like last time I got into the gameplay. Me and my friend Freddie played like we were playing like nightly for a while, and like we you know, I was able to go coast to coast a few times, like back in like this is probably 2008 or 9, yeah.
Because I think the first time was coded. I think the first time I did the code to get to right to Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the first time I beat him.
That was in Nintendo Power.
Yeah. But we were like when we started playing again back in like the mid 2000s, like we were actually like, you know, all right, can you see? Because if you beat Tyson, like if you do the code and you beat Tyson, it'll say, you know, you won, and it'll have Little Mac, and it'll say you went 1 and 2, but you're the champ somehow. And it's like, but like I've actually had it. Like I'm sure. It was before you could do screenshots with shit, but I could do, you know, I remember taking a picture of it with something that I, you know, I was able to, you know, get the, what is it? I think it's 14-0 that you go if you beat everybody.
If you go coast to coast, yeah.
But I remember Freddie had to show me how to beat Sandman. And after I beat him, I was like, oh fuck, I didn't realize that. But I mean, because there's a trick to pretty much every guy.
Everybody's got a pattern.
Everybody's got a pattern. You got to figure it out. But even Tyson, we figured some shit out about Tyson. This was before you could look it up on YouTube too. It was like, or at least early days of YouTube when nobody thought to do that. But yeah, we figured out our own shit still.
No, all those times the walkthroughs weren't really a thing. Nobody was selling those or whatever. Especially for those like that full early Nintendo line. I don't think walkthroughs really came until like Genesis.
It's crazy, like thinking about with those old games though too, where you just, like if you sat down and played back then, like it was like, okay, I want to beat Legends of Zelda or fucking Castlevania or some shit like that. It's like, it's really just between you and your game cartridge and nobody else. Like, it really is. I mean, some people thought to videotape it or something, but it's like, other than that, like, it really, like, it wasn't like you published your score. It doesn't go online. You're not communicating with anybody online. It's just you and that fucking box, and like nobody else do shit about it. And it's like, it's so weird, like, because anytime I've like tried to play Nintendo, like old games in the past few years, I'm like, man, this is really private. It's just really like you almost feel lonely.
You're not
playing
with
it.
your friends.
You're like, wow,
you're not in no chat.
This isn't the same.
There's no online play.
And in a lot of ways, that's a lot better. I mean, it's just like, all right, it's just me and some games, and I remember, me and my friend, like, I remember us walking to the video store, and we were freshmen in high school getting clowned because we were coming back with our fucking game cartridge, like, oh, well, party night for you guys. I'm like, yeah, shut the fuck up, all right? You just fucking mean kids. I'm sorry that I didn't get a fucking 30-pack of fucking Busch Light tonight, all right? I got Tecmo Bowl again, and I'm okay with that shit. Yeah. So fuck off. And that's why I was a virgin for a long time, so that's fine. I'm good with that.
You've made your peace with the Nintendo gods.
Yeah, that, and I didn't join the Catholic Church, so I call back. I don't know, whatever. Anyway.
Oh, so yes, so
yeah, that's
hell of a week.
Yeah, hell of a week. Yeah.
So let's go into our first story here.
Let's do it.
So, in our first story here, Kat, I'm gonna put up on the screen for you guys. A DC man fights to keep giant Transformer statues in front of his home. You see the pic? They are not small.
No, he's not fucking
Transformer
around, man. I imagine the HOA has a problem with that.
Well, that's why there's a news story, huh?
Yeah, of course it is. It's. I can see why he wants to, but I can also see that the other adults who own homes around the area might have a problem with that, because it does still affect your property value, and it's still I mean, he should have known this when he was fucking erecting an Optimus Prime or whatever for the front of his fucking house.
It's blocking his door.
It is.
It's partly blocking his door.
And it's like, I mean, when you talk about being comfortable with yourself, though, too, it's like, there's a dude who's like, I mean, I don't know. Is it really something that, does it have to be at the front door? What's inside the house? Like, why do you have to walk under a Transformer's dick to get in your house?
Yeah.
I mean,
what collectibles are inside his house that he's not showing?
I mean, it's just so, I don't know if ostentatious is a word, but it's just so, it really reminds me of, I don't know if I ever mentioned it on here before, but like when I was in college, I went to Kent State, and there was a there was a restaurant off campus, like as you come in off the highway. It was called like, I think it was just something simple like Mike's. It was like a family. It was country style buffet, something like that. It wasn't a chain restaurant, but it was like, the like country kitchen, that sort of type of, Denny's.
Yeah, like a hometown buffet, hometown buffet kind of thing.
It was called Mike's, and I remember, and this was in the late '90s when they did the re-release of the Star Wars movies, which I think it might have had something to do with that, but it's this old just country. It looks like a fucking Waffle House, and he's got an X-wing fighter in the front, just sitting there as a decoration in the front of in front of the restaurant as you walk in, and it almost looked almost like it was like Jabba the Hutt, where he took it as a bounty or something, like somebody owed him money and he took
like,
their
"Just take
X-wing.
the X-wing."
It's like somebody couldn't pay for their fucking waffles, so it's like, well, I got here, I flew here in an X-wing. Well, it looks like we're gonna have to keep the X-wing until you can come up with the $17, sir. And it's really that's what it reminds me. It's just like this ridiculous, movie, nostalgic paraphernalia. What am I?
But at least with that, he could write it off as a business expense. That's why he put it in front of the restaurant, because it is ridiculous.
Yeah,
shit
I guess he
could
could
be a business expense.
It did drop. I mean, I'm still talking about it 26 years later or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's called marketing. That's good marketing.
That was
But dude, what is this? He's promoting Transformers, and they bought him at the front of the city council because neighbors were all complaining. And he had the actor that does Optimus Prime's voice, and like the actor that, not like a current actor, but the actor that did Bumblebee from like the 80s, came to testify that, oh yeah, they should keep these, they're great and fun. It's just like, I don't think that's the help you were looking for,
How old is this man? I mean,
he is a older gentleman. What is, they did not say that in this thing how old the guy was, but he is a middle-aged gentleman. He is a middle-aged gentleman for sure.
Family or a wife or friends? I'm not trying to fucking. Because look, I have my own, I have my own quirks, but this just seems like outside of reason. Because the thing is you can have whatever movie collectibles, anything like that you want inside your house, of course. It's your thing. It's how you're decorating. But when you put it outside,
once it starts
you're
spilling out,
decorating everybody else's fucking neighborhood, man. And I mean, you had to know this when you were fucking putting that. Like, okay, maybe you wouldn't have thought of it when you were on the legs part, or okay, but by the time you got to the head, you didn't think for a minute that maybe the other adults around
that is
my
not
house
a young man. That
might
is an
have
old
an
man.
issue with this. I mean, that's just being a fucking jackass.
That's the guy.
Really.
That's the guy.
It's and I would not have a problem with the Transformer out there at all. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's. I mean, obviously it's a cool looking. I was never into Transformers that much either, and I came from that generation. But I think I had one GoBot that somebody got me for Christmas, and
I had GoBots. Because they were at the discount store.
When somebody got me, it was actually pretty cool. It was like a Datsun with that turned into a guy.
Yeah,
and
I had that one.
Yeah, they were okay.
I don't remember any of their names.
Right, not at all. And I mean, the only one I know is Optimus Prime out of all the fucking Transformers.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would have no problem with it personally, but I could still see everybody else's point of view where it's just like, come on, what are you fucking doing, dude?
These are made here.
What?
These statues.
So wait, he didn't make the statue?
No, they were made by an artist. That artist is here in Las Vegas. If you go down to, where was I? One of the hotels when I was down to, I don't remember, maybe it was Planet Hollywood or something. Like, there's a store that has them out front. No, it was when I was at the Horseshoe, because I walked from Paris in there. No, there's a store right there that has 2 giant fucking Transformers you can buy. And like the auction I go to in town, he's always selling them at the auction. They go for peanuts. Like they in the display room at the auction place I go to, it's a giant they have a giant Optimus that's like 2 stories.
Well, see, I had a thing when I was this was early. This was still when I was I was still like a doorman at the Comedy Store, and I was still cutting grass, and this was still back in the early days when I was in L.A. I had to rent movies at Blockbuster at that time. This is 2002 maybe, and I remember they had this display when Spider-Man, the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man came out on video. They had this big display with this, it was a mannequin with this, it was a Spider-Man. And anyway, I get this call, I remember just randomly in the week, that I won this drawing from the Blockbuster video that I went to, that I won the Spider-Man. And I'm like, oh, great, cool. And I really was like, at first I was like, this is stupid. Like, what the fuck do I want a Spider-Man for? Like, because it was like as tall as me. I mean, it was like, this wasn't like, I mean, I couldn't play in the tub with it. So, I mean, what am I going to do with it? Like, what the fuck do I want that for? So, I just happened to mention to my friend Ron, who was, like, nearby when I got the call. I'm like, yeah, dude, I got this call, but they said I want a Spider-Man. He's like, dude, those things are worth, like, $300 or $400. So, like, they were, like, it was like there was a value. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, oh, and he immediately is making me an offer. I think he gave me, like, $200 for it or something. I mean, and I would have just given it to him. He would have been willing to go pick it up. Yeah. Like but he gave me like $200. But I just remember like, he was into that. That's how he decorated his apartment or wherever he lived. Because I remember I lived with him for a little while. And I remember he had me go pick up one time. Like he's like, yo, my the Batman costume that I ordered is in at whatever store on Hollywood Boulevard, and I had to go into the store and pick it up for him. And it's not like the old school like Batman. It's the new like the leather one. And the dude like brings out the box and is like itemizing it, showing like here's the gloves, here's the and I'm like
here's the cowl.
This looks like an S&M outfit, sir. Could you? I really don't want everybody here to think I'm the gimp. So could you just put the shit away and I'll just take it to
I'll trust you. I'll trust you.
Yeah, he can put it on his mannequin or on his naked body. I don't give a shit as long as I don't see it. And but like stuff like that, like I understand if you're into that sort of thing, cool. If you're real into Star Wars, if you're into any of that stuff, but if you're putting it out on your fucking front door, especially when it looks like he's like in a row house situation where his building is connected to other, like that's just common sense.
There's no yard. If you don't have a yard, you can't do that shit.
Right. If you don't, like, if you live out in, like, if there's just nobody on either side of you for like at least like a quarter mile, fine. Fine. Whatever you want to decorate your fucking lawn with, whether it's, the fucking fat lady bending over with the goofy bloomers or wacky waving fucking
inflatable tube man.
Yeah. If you want to do that, fine. If you want to put the fucking deer in your yard or a gnome, or if you want to put a fucking transform, fine. But it when it's this, like, okay, like speaking of gnomes, if he had a gnome-sized one, I don't think anybody'd have a problem with it.
No.
It's unique. Oh, yeah. So you tell anybody coming to his house, it's the one with the Optimus Prime instead of a gnome. Fine. But
they're giant.
Is ridiculous. I mean, it really does. It's that's just common sense. You're an adult.
It's collectible versus like it's just gaudy.
It really is. You're trying to piss people off. You have to be. Because there's no way you actually, think that, like, oh, yeah, everybody's going to love this, I mean, it's, because this isn't Christmas lights, sir. This is fucking...
But, I mean, look at the guy. He kind of looks like a little bit, a little bit eccentric, a little bit douchey, like...
Yeah.
He's like, they stick out by like a sore thumb, and I resent
If I just met him in passing, I'd be like, I bet you have... A
couple of giant robots up in your house.
I would say, yeah. You don't look like the gargoyle type. You got to put something else fucking stupid.
He's got little supervillain vibes too.
He does. Yes, he does a lot with his pinky, like fucking Austin Powers or whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, don't let your collection spill out into the streets, people. All right, keep it inside. The people get like the giant statues or like the like people who have stand-ups, like where they have a person stand up or even mannequins in their house.
Right, it's just altogether.
It just always scares the shit out of me.
Mannequins are creepy anyway. Like you ever see that movie Tourist Trap? You probably shouldn't, but it's
a deep cut,
I unfortunately saw it as a kid and it
cut.
Stuck with me.
Wow.
And it's like, but it reminds me of that. But like, what's the point in having a transformer that doesn't transform? Like, because now you don't really have a transformer; you just have a big fucking robot. Well, and that's it.
And if it was actually like a custom like thing where it was like somebody built you a cool, sleek like transformer from the ground up, but it's made they're all made out of car parts. So it's like if you look close, like it's just wrenches and like it's like to the untrained eye it may be art, but to other people it's a stack of trash. You just put a stack of auto parts trash in front of your house that's painted.
So wait, if like, what if the people across the street put a Decepticon in front of their, it's like, would that Would that offend him enough to like understand, or would it, I mean like, or would they have to battle it out here on Earth until and then that would, I think that would solve the problem for the HOA. Don't even get the get anybody. Just get yourself just build a Decepticon and send it to his house, and then it'll work itself out.
There's a lot of stuff I wonder about that too, because there's that place in the Arts District that does all that metal art where they make the giant like metal dinosaurs and all that stuff, and I'm just like, who's gonna put that in their yard?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Even at like the nursery places, like with the gardening centers, they always have those weird giant things. I'm like, who the fuck is putting that in their yard?
Right.
This like extra large fountain or with a dinosaur on top, like. And here we are. They I guess honestly they wouldn't make it if somebody didn't buy it. I mean that's
well, they would make it. I just don't know if they make another one. It's just
All right,
Cap. What else?
All right, so this is because this is actually a quasi real news story, because this involves corruption and everything, but it's ridiculous. So I'm going to put it on the screen here for you guys. So this Indian official has been suspended after he drains reservoir to retrieve phone he dropped while taking a selfie.
Again, this is just like the Transformer, though. Like, at what point do you not catch yourself? Like, okay, like when you're because I mean, he had to go to. He uses his official capacity. Yeah. Like, number one. First of all, there had to be something on that phone that he was worried about somebody seeing. Like, and he's not. And the thing is, they said it's a Samsung too. It's not even a fucking iPhone.
Yeah.
Like, really, you're gonna go digging around for a fucking iPhone, or not for a fucking whatever
for
Galaxy,
Samsung,
whatever,
Galaxy Note,
whatever piece of shit Samsung makes. But it's like, but I mean, wouldn't you understand? Like, okay. You dropped it in a reservoir.
Yeah.
What could you possibly need from it? Because number one, it's not like you got to worry about somebody else is gonna get it. Until
the big drought.
Somebody you think somebody else is just like after hours people just always go troll the fucking reservoir for free electronics?
Yeah.
Really? You really think that's gonna? I mean, because I think that's why. Because they said he got suspended from his position. I think he should not. Never mind the abuse of resources or manpower or anything like that. Just to be in a position of any sort of authority and be that fucking stupid. Like, that you would actually need to dig a piece of electronic equipment that you dropped into 10 plus feet of water.
Oh yeah,
at least?
It was like, it is it was deep.
Right.
Like, it's they pumped for 3 days to get all the water out. That's how much water was in
the course of those 3 days goes, this is, you realize your phone's not going to work. It's done. It's done. All you need to do is go to your carrier, get another phone, and they'll have you a new phone within 3 to 4 months, right? Yeah. It's,
he said it had sensitive government information, and I'm like,
he didn't have bullshit.
He's a food inspector, bro. How much sensitive government information does the food inspector have?
Like, okay, let's say that really was the case. Like, nobody in the course of 3 days said, hey, you are familiar with your cloud, right? You are familiar with the fact that it all just goes on your account. Doesn't matter about the fucking device, you moron. It really is. It reminds me, like, I don't know. I remember I seen a video, like, it was like some sort of like county official who, and it was like, it was sewage. Did you ever see a video like where there was like some sort of, and I think it was in America, there was like some sort of government official, local thing, went to like, it's some sort of sewage area treatment, and like, I think she like knelt down to like test her and fell in, and there was like no getting out of this. Like, she died. Like, to imagine drowning in fucking somebody,
oh my
the
God.
entire city's fucking shit. And that's what,
God.
there's some, look it up. somebody look. I don't know. Look it up because it happened. So
That's
somebody,
a shitty way to die.
It's a.
Up top.
No. I'll go down low, but I'm not. That sounds terrible. Anyway, but it's it's baffling that not only this guy can be that stupid, but the people who pumped this shit out for 3 days. Like, why did they get them? Like, because he actually got to the point where he got the phone out, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they went that far.
And it was non-functioning because it was waterlogged.
Right. Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Really? It didn't
you
come
don't
back.
say.
You couldn't just plug it in and see the little fucking thing,
but
say hello.
There's video of this dude sitting there under a red umbrella just watching that water pump out. He stood there for 3 days watching that water pump out. Like, not doing his job.
What a fucking
not doing
asshole,
nothing.
Man. I mean, that's stupid. That's really stupid.
Draining the reservoir. Depriving farmers of crop watering water.
What about the crops? That's usually what I think too. What about the crops?
It's India. They got to feed people. Crops
it's
is
still
important.
just the fact that I mean, like, it is so incredible how like just insistent stupidity can be. Like how people when you are really fucking dumb. Like there's just this
armor,
this assurance.
Yeah,
it's
a stupidity
this 100% conviction that no, I'm right and I'm gonna commit to being this fucking dumb because I am too dumb to realize that I might be wrong. But it's amazing how dumb that you can be, and how fucking just 100% confident that you can be that you're right, and these are perfectly rational reactions that I'm having. These are perfectly rational thoughts. I mean, I before we close out here, I've been obsessed with if you ever watch any of the trial footage from the Waukesha Christmas parade attack. I mean, if you want to get really just upset, just angry at just the absolute insistent stupidity and just clueless, narcissism, and it's fascinating. It's addictive because I mean, I have never hated a person as much as fucking Darrell Brooks, and and I've never met the guy, and you watch it, you're just like, are you really like you just watch it and you're just like, I swear to God, I want to get sent to fucking prison in Wisconsin just so I can stab you, just so I can fucking stab you. And then we'll have a conversation while you're bleeding. And then, I'm going to go,
who the fuck
are you?
To
the hole, and I'm going to be away from the videos of your trial, and I'm going to feel better about this shit, all right? And I'm going to be there, and I'm going to get out some duck hunt, and I'm going to control the ducks, all right?
Oh
and
my
that's
God.
because it's just going to be me and my
you have
cartridge.
such a level of unknown hate. Like, he has no idea of your level.
I swear to God,
you want to stab the man to death.
I know it's not just me because there's a bunch of videos on YouTube.
Is there a Reddit group?
There's a few of them who have done a decent documentary about so you get some background. But what a fucking asshole! What a jerk! So
stupid people.
Yeah,
stupid people abusing power.
Them. Yeah.
Which brings us right back to the Catholic Church.
Right,
Call back, baby.
Anyway, so I gotta go erect a robot on my lawn. I gotta get out of here. So.
Well, guys, that brings us to our end wrap up here with the Blatherrhea.
Yeah, man.
Good week cap. So
I'm headed to Lexington tomorrow. So by the time you see this, I'll have come back. I'll be in Dallas and Fort Worth at Hyenas. What is it? June 8th and 9th?
9th, 10th.
9th and 10th.
8th and 10th. Or 9th, 10th.
June 9th and 10th. I'll be at Hyenas in both Dallas and Fort Worth. First night to Fort Worth, next night's Dallas. Come on
Same
down.
club name in both places?
Yeah, they're both Hyenas. They're I mean, it's the same. It's not a chain because there's only two of them, so they're affiliated. But and then we'll always be at of course every Tuesday Jimmy Kimmel Club here in Las Vegas. If you're here in Vegas, come see our show 9:30 Tuesday nights. at the Jimmy Kimmel Club, and I'll be at Rosemont Zanies in outside Chicago. Coming to those shows, I'll be there. Be back there for the first time in a few years. July 14th and
14th, 15th.
14th, 15th. Yeah. So come on down.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Good times.
Yeah,
and as you can get all that at johncaparulo.com. Follow me at brianshinanigan.com. I'm just not gonna tell people I can subscribe anymore, because if you don't know how the internet works, I can't help you.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say.
But yeah.
We're combating stupidity one reservoir at a time, Cap.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's what we're gonna do. So
but anyway, since you're on YouTube, look up the Waukesha Christmas Parade Attack. If you just feel like pissing yourself off today, watch that shit. Yeah, I mean, I know you do. So go ahead.
Yes, we're changing your algorithm one video at a time. So.
Yeah,
And that's Blatherrhea. We're out.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.